Every week the world changes, but the real story is happening behind the scenes. Alrighty. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the weekly briefing here at the Ryan Files. Very happy to be here tonight. Had an interesting week, to say the least. A lot going on, man. Allergies like crazy. We've got, the weather swings that everybody else has been experiencing. So nothing special there. It's funny. I was able to get out and golf today in the morning, but yesterday, of course, it was 90, and today it was 50. But I was able to get out and golf, and tomorrow it's probably going to be 70. So, but it is what it is. It's good to be here, man. Look forward to this every week. I really kind of like the new format. So just happy to have you. I'm going to look through the comments. Here's the bottom line, okay? I've got a screen right here, and I can see the comments. I've got a screen right there, and I can see the comments. It's much better for me to read the comments looking like this than like this. And either way, I need my glasses. But the bottom line is this screen is too far away and too small, and that screen is just not big enough. So I don't I don't know what I got to do here. I got to figure out a way to get a big enough screen where I can just look and read the comments and not, I don't know. So because I use this screen, I have notes on this screen, so I don't know, man, what to do. For crying out loud, these are first world problems. But anyways, we're going to get better. I have another screen up there. I guess I don't know. I'm going to figure it out, though, all right? I'm going to figure it out. Anyways, let's see here. Let's dive in, man. First of all, let me just see who's on here. And once again, it's easier right now to just look down through here, so I apologize for looking down. It's not very interactive, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Julie Whitthorne, all the people in green, thank you so much for your support. Julie, saw Julie this week. I got the pants. Next time, they're right in that room over there, the costume room. So, it was fortunate to find another pair of leather pants. Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there was an incident on January 31st. That's all I'm going to say. So, and a leather pair of pants cost about $1,500, but I was able to find another pair, costume pair, and I've lost some weight, so I fit into them. So that's a good thing. And I'll be on the road this week in Bristol, Virginia, I believe it is. I think Bristol, Tennessee, and Bristol, Virginia are like back to back, like right, same thing. But it's the Hard Rock Casino, and I need to perform in the leather. So we are set, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be a good time. Come out to Hard Rock Casino Thursday night if you're interested. So anyway, let's dive in. Christine Jeffords, good to have you, John. Always, you guys, appreciate you guys and all your support. Sheila and Tony Sutton, love you. Margaret and Joe, love you guys. Thank you so much. Good to have you on, Miss Jeannie. Galen, let's see here. Fred, always good, man. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Laura, good evening. Yeah, I appreciate the prayers for Blue. We'll talk about that in a bit. Joe. Anyway, we got the Canadian contingency. That's right. We've got Ann Sum from Canada, Ottawa, calling. There you go. And I'm not sure if I see Lola on here or not, but she is our other prominent member. Kristen Turner, how you doing? Good to have you. Man, I've got a reflection of light. That's the problem. I forgot to turn out that light. And that's the problem. Okay. Misdemeanors. That's awesome, misdemeanors. Hello from Pennsylvania. Imagine that, someone with the name Misdemeanors from Pennsylvania. Turkey, good to see you. Pethian, awesome. Kate, good to have you. Thank you so much. A lot of Pennsylvania. How about that? Let's see here. Kristen Turner, crazy snow here in Clearfield. We had a crazy snow here. You had snow last night in Pennsylvania in Clearfield? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Fred, I need a lot of things. Progressive lenses, yes, absolutely. I need to figure it out. Yeah. Yep. There are no U-Hauls behind a hearse. Yes, there are no U-Hauls behind a hearse. That's a good point, right? Gay and Johnson, magnifying screen in front. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, these are. Oh, Amy just turned out the light. I don't know how that affects the lighting, but now I can actually see, and I'm not doing this, dodging reflections of lights. Thank you, Amy. That's my wife, Amy. So the cabbage thing is interesting. Julie came out to the show and she said, you take cabbage and you break the cells on it, rolling pin or whatever, and then you wrap it on your knees. I went to the store that night, Julie, and I bought a cabbage, and it's in the refrigerator still, because I was all excited. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'll try anything. bad knees just from years of sports and performing on stage and everything. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get a cabbage and I'm going to try it. Jolie swears by it. And I love old style remedies, better than taking medicine. So I go and get the cabbage, I get it home, and I'm like, and you said, saran wrap. We don't have any saran wrap. And I've been to the store several times since, and I keep on forgetting to get saran wrap. I'm going to try it, all right? I am going to try it. And if it works, I'll be the first one to say, hey, get a cabbage and like saran wrap and feel good. Trust me. So, let's see who else is here. Beth Ann, first wardrobe malfunction and leather. Not the first. You are absolutely right. This one blew from the bottom all the way up the back, tore the leather. A good pair of pants. There you go. Good to have you, Lola. We had to have the Canadian contingency. Deneen, good to have you. All right, we're caught up. Awesome. I appreciate you guys coming, tuning in. It's been an interesting week, to say the least. From my perspective in life, I've got a lot going on. Not that you don't. Some of you, last week we had the Squatch, whatever. Not here, I guess, this week, but Squatch was talking and asked if I perform as Elvis. And obviously, a lot of you know I do. And we have this big event that I help produce and MC and kind of coordinate a lot of stuff for. It's called the Branson Elvis Festival, May 1, 2, and 3. And right there at the Pepsi Legends Theater in Branson. And man, this year is going to be awesome. I am so excited. Got some really cool ideas and really taking it to, I feel like our festival, we kind of do take it to another level, but this year, just with this thing just going like this, I decided, you know what, we're going to go to here. And so I'm very excited about it. Dealing with the contestants right now and figuring out who's in the field and all that. We got a great field so far, and potentially it's going to be ecstatic. We'll see. The deadline is on this Friday, so we'll see who turns in their paperwork and actually decides that they want to come. But anyway, a lot of production goes into that. I've oftentimes told you how many hours I put in a week on the Ryan files. And don't get me wrong, I love doing it. But that and shows and then traveling like this weekend or this Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll be on the road. Lord willing, that's it because of the airport situations going on right now. We'll see. But there's so much right now, just it's like go time for the Branson Elvis Festival. So I am juggling a lot and just trying to be awesome at everything. So I have interviews booked, scheduled, and in the can, not edited, but in the can at least, up until about the time of the festival, which means I need to find, it would be nice to have that buffer of maybe 4 more interviews between now and sometime in April to get them done, have them in the can, be able to get them uploaded and whatnot. So when it comes to May 1, 2, 3, I don't have to worry about it. And you know what? I did it all of January basically. So if I could do that, I can do it. I can do it this year for the Branson Elvis Festival. So let's go. All right. This week I wanted to talk about a couple things. Very interesting stuff in the news. And you know what? I don't want to make this always about current events and whatnot. Maybe it is current events, but not like that you'd see on the news. But it is interesting because there's a battlefield, that is going on right now, obviously, in the Middle East. And I think it impacts probably just about everybody in one way, shape, or form. But there's another battle going on other than, missiles and fuel and oil and Iran and all that stuff. There's another battle going on, and it's information, deception, and it's really being bolstered by AI. And it's fascinating. Because warfare has changed. And we are seeing it. And if you don't, this is one of those moments in time, I think you're going to go back, however many years down the road, and you're going to look back and you're going to be like, hey, wait, that was different. And one of the reasons, there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons why it's different is because AI is at the forefront of it. AI warfare is here, bottom line. And I believe that in a way, this is the first real AI-driven conflict. Now, let me explain that. Obviously, we talked last week about, systems being there for planning and whatnot. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the boots on the ground. I'm not talking about the missiles, the munitions, putting fire on a target. That's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is the information war, social media, propaganda, all that. And Iran is flooding social media. And it's very fascinating to see. And everybody who's in the know a little bit knows that Iran is significant when it comes to their technological side and when it comes to AI. They're out there. They're not. I'm not saying that they're the U.S. or China, but they are there. They're in the game. But between deepfakes, fake battlefield images, man, they've got fake satellite images of U.S. bases, that have been destroyed. U.S. Ships being sunk. And all this is like narrative manipulation, right? Which is still just the most bizarre thing in the world. Why do you do that? You keep your people in the dark. The rest of the world sees it, knows what's going on, and you're okay with that. You're not ashamed, like, okay. No, it's kind of a wild ride if you think about it. And man, when you see what they're showing, it's like, yeah, if you didn't have any other information source, you would believe it. It's all very believable. It looks real. And I think we're going to see this creep up more and more and more and more. So just be aware of it. And the truth of the matter is that I think it would be foolish to say that Iran is the only country doing this. There's been a number of times over the past few years where people have gotten caught with AI manipulation, even when they don't have to, because a lot of times it just makes it look better, which is fascinating. But here's a perfect example. There was an F-35 U.S. Fighter jet that was shot down. And of course, Iran ran with it. Like they shot this stealth fighter down, and it's a big deal. And hey, America's weak. The great Satan has fallen, blah, 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 blah. The truth of the matter is, it was not destroyed. It was hit. It was only damaged, landed safely, but it was hit, not destroyed and everything else. But that's an interesting thing. We're talking about a stealth fighter. And here's an interesting fact for those of you who don't get it. You talk about a stealth fighter. What is a stealth fighter? A stealth fighter is basically it has stealth to defeat radar. So when you shoot radar signals in it, and they're supposed to see it and bounce back and give you the signal that it's there. So because of the shape, the materials and whatnot involved in building this craft, it will have the stealth capabilities when it comes to radar. So radar, you won't see it. The one thing that you can't hide is the thermal image. So especially, and you can mask it to a degree, but certainly when doing certain maneuvers and all that, or just, being close, afterburners, specific flight maneuvers and profiles and whatnot, thermal becomes an issue, IR detection. And that's more than likely how they saw it, not necessarily on radar. They didn't, according to them, they didn't defeat our stealth technology. No, it popped up on infrared and they tracked it. And obviously, you have flares and everything else to defeat infrared technology, but whatever happened, happened. And they hit it. It wasn't destroyed. It did land safely. So, but of course, Iran turns this into a major, victory for its country and its people. Misinformation. But this was the big one. This week, Benjamin Netanyahu was either dead or in a coma. And I don't know if you've seen that out there. A lot of people probably haven't. But this was the big thing being circulated. And it was all propaganda, widely circulated, especially in Iran. But there was no credible confirmation. But apparently, either a missile got through the Golden Dome or whatever it is over Israel and hit somewhere. And allegedly, Benjamin Netanyahu was in the area walking his dog and was severely injured and in a coma. That did not happen, by the way. That did not happen. But what is interesting is, I guess we'll get to it. I guess we'll get to the Benjamin Netanyahu thing because, man, what a mess it's become out there. Because the goal isn't, I don't know that this war can be won by Iran, but they're doing a very good job at making sure nobody knows exactly what's really happening and causing disinformation or just having people question whether real information is real or not. Does everybody feel that? I mean, that's the world we live in now, and it's only going to get worse, which is crazy. Because I feel like we're getting to a point very soon where there is no trusted news outlet. Yeah. And, it's a problem. Research, you can't, it's hard to research even for this episode and find out what's true, what's not true. Perfect example. There is a gentleman, and listen, I'm not banging on the guy, okay? I don't agree with everything he says, but I do watch, and it's always a little interesting, his channel. It's Israeli News Live. His name is Stephen Ben Nun, or Ben Noon. N-U-N, I'm sorry. And there was he did a report 2-3 days ago where he was like, listen, I've got someone on the inside close to Netanyahu who says he's in a coma, severely injured, in a coma. And obviously Israeli News Live, that's what he talks about. And fascinating individual and fascinating channel. And there's some times where there's some wild episodes. And so anyway, he reports this and I'm like, well, he says he knows someone directly right there, inside the Netanyahu camp, maybe this is real. But the truth of the matter is it was, number one was it really got legs by Iranian disinformation. Number two, and look, again, I'm not banging on the guy. I don't know him. Stephen Ben Noon was a little lax maybe in the way he reported it and whatnot. To his credit, he did come back and kind of make an apology or a correction. It's kind of more of an excuse of why he did it rather than I was wrong. But again, I'm not banging on the guy, but the bottom line is the disinformation was spread. And I don't think that it would have gotten to the point that even he would have asked the question were it not for just a massive push of Iranian disinformation and whatnot. And one of the problems, of course, though, is what happens when one of these conspiracies get proven right. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen at some point. We've seen conspiracies get proved right again and again and again and again over the past couple years. I mean, or at least there's some legs to it, whereas, there wasn't before. Everything from chemtrails to Epstein to aliens. All things that were like, if Pizzagate, you talk about it, you're wrong, you're kicked off. Well, yeah, there's a little bit to it, though. So it's not the total conspiracy that was made out to be. And that's where we are. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The AI is used to make something look like disinformation. And it won't be true. And maybe it's just one day it's actually true. And we come to find out. And it's going to be massive. It's going to cause so much confusion. Arm yourself with this information, friends. I'm not telling you to go out and research this to the level that I have or anything. I'm telling you, though, understand that just because you see it and believe it, or the person that you like is telling it, doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And you got to dig deep, and you've got to not only look to the source that you think is telling the truth, because I've seen it. And maybe they think they're telling the truth. Stephen Ben Noon, perfect example. I think that he thought he was telling the truth. And I think he thought it was like a wow piece of information too, but I think that he thought he was telling the truth, but guess what? It wasn't. It wasn't the truth, and that's the problem. And at the end of the day, Iranian disinformation wins. So, fascinating, right? But there was a moment with the Netanyahu stuff that is fascinating. And, man, I have my own theory about this, and I'll tell you, and you guys will think I'm crazy. And you know what? Maybe I am. But there were some videos of Netanyahu after the fact. And a lot of people said those are AI-generated videos. That's not really him. Why did they say that? They said that because there was some weird camera angle stuff going on, and it looked like one of his hands had 6 fingers. Why is that significant? Everybody who knows anything about AI knows that for a long time, AI had a very difficult time with fingers. AI generated images, it might all look normal, but you'll look and all of a sudden there'll be 6 fingers or more. Had a real hard time with fingers and toes. Why is that? I don't know. We have these AI models that are smart enough to help us in battles, but they can't get 5 fingers and toes correct. Interesting. So there was this video and the lighting and whatnot in this one short little clip looked like, does he have 6 fingers? Well, turns out it was just the lighting and the way it looked. He had 5 fingers the whole time, and it was a real clip. But people saw that and immediately said, that's AI. That's AI, which is interesting because it's a known issue with AI, the finger issue. But we also have biblical references, 2 Samuel 21, where the Nephilim, the giants, offspring of the fallen angels, 6 fingers, 6 toes. You have Native American lore, where you've heard the stories of how. Why did they do that? They did that to hold up their hand to say, I have 5 fingers. I have 5 fingers, not 6. I'm not a giant, and I'm not part of a giant bloodline. How? And if you look at Native American lore, there's all kinds of accounts of giants out there. So that's fascinating. And, what if the glitch isn't random? AI produces these extra fingers. You got the biblical narrative, giants, Nephilim having extra fingers. You got the Native American side of it. And then you got people like Gary Wayne, who's been on the program, and a number of others, quite a few actually, who are suggesting that there's non-human intelligence influencing technology, specifically AI. Gary Wayne even said it straight up. He's like, AI is it's an orchitarian for a demon. A demon is the spirit of a dead Nephilim, because it's half angelic and half human. It can't be saved, so the demon is cursed to just wander. That's what a demon is. But they can inhabit things. They can possess people. But a physical object is what you call an orchitarian. Is AI an orchitarian for demonic possession? And is there control by demonic forces? And we talked about in programming, there's daemons. Just interesting. So is it possible that what's influencing AI isn't entirely human? Is it possible it's controlled and influenced by demons whatsoever? And that as a result, their physical characteristics are being rendered consciously or unconsciously through AI always producing 6 fingers. I don't know. Just an interesting point I thought I'd bring up. Kind of a fascinating thought trail, so to speak. But it is amazing. Like the AI is trusted to run your strategy on a battlefield and how to win a battle where all kinds of things are on the line, human life and resources and everything else. But it's not very good at creating humans with 5 fingers. Anyway, let's see what the comments are out there. And please, I love your comments, man. Keep them coming. Let me get in here and see what we got. Capsini is on. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I need to maybe magnify the screen. I don't know. I got to figure it out. I think Fred Slack is probably right. I need progressive lenses. He would know. He's a glasses guy. But I got to figure it out, man. I got to figure it out. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Kathy Kalish is on. Let's see here. Any plaster crap will work. Yep. I even thought of using an ace bandage, but I didn't. I got to get some plastic wrap. Capsini, good to have you, bud. Appreciate you. Haven't talked to you in a bit. Let's see here. Heather, good to have you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Good to have you on. Diane Brickles. Hello. How you doing? Let's see here. BB Resurrection Day celebration. Yeah, interesting. Absolutely, X is nothing but AI videos unless you follow trusted sources. But what is a trusted source anymore? And again, some trusted sources can get got. That is a fact. You, okay? We are not getting all the information. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you're getting a lot of information that isn't the accurate information. It's very hard to know what is real or not. Adds to the uncertainty. Yeah, it adds to the uncertainty of the times and the division between people. That is a goal in all of this too. Just keep that in mind. Don't drink the Kool-Aid to the extent that you don't keep an open mind and understand that we're all human. In that regard, to a degree, not empirically, but to a degree, we all have there is a connection between us. And I've said it many times, this whole right-left thing is just to keep you divided. And it's interesting that the train keeps on going down the track the same direction all the time. It doesn't matter who's in charge. Keep that in mind, friends. Misdemeanors. Yes, BB looks like some strange AI video of him circulating as of late. Yeah, and they don't, and like, people catch wind of it, and then all of a sudden people are creating AI videos of BB to have six fingers. So it's like these deep fakes and whatnot. There's no end to it, because you can be like, someone could be like, no, listen, that video wasn't accurate. This person creates a video of BB with six fingers, and they're like, no, it is accurate. See, here's the video. But it wasn't the real video. You know what I mean? I mean, at some point, you're not going to believe or be able to believe anything. And what's that cause? Division. Absolutely. It causes division. Let's see here. Yeah, discernment. Amen. Pray for discernment, for sure. Wasn't there a productive conversation going on? Iran says no conversations are going on. Exactly. And allegedly, there was a call today to, tomorrow we're going to bomb your biggest power plant. And allegedly, Iran came to the table. But who knows? I mean, I spent all day trying to verify. I mean, there was a Trump, I said the word. There was a presidential tweet it said that was the case. Is it? I'm assuming it is. I don't know. It's fascinating. Let's see. Don't believe everything you hear or see. Exactly. Except there are some things that you see and hear that you need to believe. And that's the counter side of this whole situation, and the reality of it, that once you start processing it step by step by step, you realize there's no way this can end well. All right. Let's see. Capsini AI can't decide if it's siding with us or the Nephilim. Yeah, I don't know, man. Fascinating point. Everyone's coming on late. It's okay, Tony. You come on whenever, man. And listen, if you don't make it live, you can always watch later. I love you guys, man. Appreciate you. Let's see here. A lot of hellos, a lot of shh. Yes. Did I miss it? Did you miss what? CC? I don't know what you missed, man. You didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss nothing, baby. AI scares the heck out of me. Well, I mean, you can be scared of it, but you also don't run from it. Yeah, TikTok's got a lot of it out there. The president was at Graceland, yes. Unless that was AI. No, he was just, it's funny. I was just there, and there he was. Got a private tour, I guess. Love it. But anyway, now one thing I think that we can understand as real, when you say as real or is real, it always sounds like Israel, because a lot of our talk tonight is at least about the conflict, and Israel is involved. Fascinating. Iran's missile capability is not what we thought it was. That's fascinating, okay? There's so many pundits saying, stuff is being made up that they don't have the tech. Well, guess what they do? Including two-stage rockets. Up until just a few days ago, everyone thought, man, there's a very small radius of missile places they can hit with missiles, their missiles that Iran can hit. And then all of a sudden, boom, they shoot to Diego Garcia, which is a small island in the Indian Ocean. There's U.S. bases there. Ironically, my wife, Amy, has been to that island. Long story, but many, many years ago, as a performer, she went and performed on the island. So Diego Garcia, fascinating. But from what I understand, it's pretty top secret base now, and like nobody can get on. Yeah. So who knows what they have? Iran probably has an idea, an inkling, and that's why they're deciding to shoot these two-stage missiles that they've never admitted to having and they've never shown before. They shot two on, I think it was Saturday, maybe Sunday, not sure. But anyways, the first one failed. Second one was blew out of the sky by us. But all of a sudden, you're at 4,000 kilometers, 2,500 miles, range, which guess what? Hello, Finn. How are you doing? Did you hear that? Yeah, how you doing, baby? That means that all of a sudden, Europe is in the crosshairs. They can launch missiles and they'll get to Europe. So it all of a sudden changes the math in the equation. And who knows? Because this is a previously unknown capability, at least to the public. I think we'd probably be stupid to think that there wasn't some inkling, but maybe there wasn't. Germany didn't know that we had cracked the Enigma code until after the war, and boy, who knows what would have happened had they known. But there are two-stage rockets, different than everything else they've done in the past, and obviously probably Chinese, Russian technology helping out with that. Fascinating. The interesting thing is, if we knew about it, if the U.S. or Israel or whoever knew about it, why was that capability not destroyed yet? Which makes you think maybe they didn't know about it. Which, if they have these two-stage rockets that can go 2,500 miles, what else do they have? There's alleged reports that they have enough weapons-grade uranium to make 11 atomic bombs. Is that real? is real. I don't know. So there's a lot of information out there that's just kind of like, wow. A lot of people think that them coming to the table allegedly today is only to buy time so they can complete one of these bombs and put it on one of these warheads. These are just test warheads because they're getting ready to put one on an atomic bomb. And I'm not saying that to sow fear, and I'm not saying it's real. I'm only saying what it is that there is so much disinformation out there that you can't put your finger on what to believe, and therefore to at least be able to settle into a reality. Does that make sense? And again, I mean, don't be the person who is only watching Fox News. Don't be the person who's only watching Newsmax. Don't be the person who's only watching CNN. Don't be the person who's only watching MSNBC or The View or whatever. Because guess what? I don't even know that all of them combined, if you can find the truth in all their information. I don't. This is ramping up really quickly too, folks. I don't know if you realize that or not. You need to guard yourself. Discernment. Absolutely. And as Western Warren says in an episode coming up, you're not going to get through this without some help. And he's talking about spiritual help. So Europe's in theoretical range now of who knows what. Nuclear capability, who knows? I don't know. It's crazy. Did they just show their hand, Or is this all just part of the plan? Fascinating. And this is another interesting thing, and there's not too much more here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. One of the big misinformation campaigns that's going on right now, is it misinformation? Iran is, man, they are framing this conflict as a war of occult science. And the United States, and specifically Israel, are using jinn, sorcery, supernatural forces in the war effort against them. Think about that. Jinn are demons. Think about that. This is mainstream. This is what they're saying to their people. Is it real? I don't know. But when governments start talking about the occult being used in war practices, and we know historically that the occult has been involved in certain things. Jack Parsons, Jet Propulsion Laboratories. The reason we had the rockets, the Titan V rocket, that go to the moon, because of his propulsion systems that he created. And he said he got the information through doing occult practices. Got the information from whatever, demons. It's a reality that this stuff goes on. But the bottom line is, when governments are starting to come out openly, Iran, and say that, are they making it up? Or as sometimes you see, are they saying the other person is doing something to cover up the fact that they're doing it? Is it real at all? But man, to have it blatantly be put out there that there is occult sciences being used to fight this particular battle by one side or the other, it opens up your eyes to what's possible down the road shortly. Final topic, I believe. Allegedly, HARP is fired up. Everybody who doesn't know, it's HARP is the high altitude something rather particle whatever. A lot of people think it's weather manipulation device, among other things. Also can cause tectonic issues. Basically, it's allegedly a machine in Alaska used to, kind of research the ionosphere. But it can't heat up sections of the ionosphere, which causes weather and whatnot. John Jeffords talks about a lot. But apparently, it's heating up and being used. And everybody knows, with Western war and whatnot, the unusual weather patterns, hot, cold, high winds. We've seen an uptick, massive uptick, and it has been going on for quite some time, but even recently of seismic events here in the United States that don't normally get them, Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, off the coast of Florida, New York. So, and these are all things that can be caused by HARP, by the way. But it is interesting that allegedly HARP has been fired up and they're running some things right now. And it coordinates, and I don't know, I know Capsini keeps track of this a little bit. I know myself and some others here do. But it also correlates with, if you've noticed, a lack of lines in the sky, you might say, by aircraft, which there are certain points in the year where it's like unbelievable. I mean, how many stinking jets you got flying in this crisscross pattern, leaving their trail. But recently there hasn't been any. And there's a lot of speculation that is because something's going on with HARP. So, I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying that's what some people are saying. So, something to keep your eye on, of course. Oh, yeah, this is the final one. This is the final one. Let me make sure this is the final one. Yeah, this is the final one. This is fascinating, okay? Had an interview this week. It will come out in the aftermath down the road. You got to tune into these aftermaths. Things get said. Things get said. But the individual said he has information that the current president of the United States, we all know who that is, DJT, really wants to be the disclosure president. And I think we can all, whether you like him or not, you can all, everyone could probably say, yeah, that sounds like something he would say. Disclosure, meaning aliens are real, all that. Laura, the daughter-in-law, mentioned in a speech in February that there is a possible speech already written about this disclosure. And then, of course, the President of the United States ordered UFO file review in February. Now, here's the kicker. It's rumored that this speech is going to be given to the country on July 4th, 2026, which, of course, is the 250th anniversary of the United States. Or shortly thereafter on July 8th, 2026, which is the, if I'm not mistaken, the 79th anniversary of the Roswell crash. Either way, the speech is written and it's ready to go. That, to hear someone say that they have insider information about that this is going to happen, blew my mind. You know, and allegedly there's going to be well, not allegedly, there's going to be a UFC fight on the White House lawn. Why not a few days later on July 8th, just have the alien craft land in the same place on the White House lawn? Boom, we're done. And isn't it funny that people say disclosure is never going to happen until they have an alien spaceship land on the White House lawn? Are we setting up for that? Seriously? I mean, are we? I don't know. Fascinating. There's no confirmation of any of this, but you know, where there's smoke, maybe there's fire. I don't know. Fascinating. Let me see what you guys got to say. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Did BB have 3 feet? I don't know anything about 3 feet in a video, but yeah. Okay, let's see here. Any possible confusion? Yeah, it's all confusing, man. TikTok is bad. Grace. When the rats have left the ship, you know it's sinking. Well, interesting point. Hear the word and believe unto eternal life. Thank you. Let's see here. Yeshua. Interesting. Time for another program about being prepared. Well, I think it's coming up. Weston Warren. I interviewed him on Wednesday, and wow. It'll be coming out here, not this week, but the week after, I think. Keeping, part 4 of the interview series. So, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. It's like get your mind straight in terms of what you can believe. Well, the one thing that you can rely on is the Word of God, no doubt about it. Yes, Finn gave her 2 cents. She's now over on the couch. Blue, or not, I said blue. Breaks my heart. Ace is over here. They're just keeping me company. Let's see, who else here? There's people, I don't watch any of the news at all. Yeah, the happiest people you know don't watch any news at all. I don't have a problem with watching news. Just don't take it serious. You know? Or let it dominate your life. Or let it affect your mood, your outlook. And understand that you're watching a reality TV show. That they get the orders of what they can and can't say. And that's been so proven. There's a narrative that you're being fed through programming. We're going to have you believe it. And I mean, people are susceptible to it. It works, you know. I mean, you can remember in 2020, people can't eat Thanksgiving dinner with their family that they've known their entire life because some people have been programmed this way, and some people didn't buy into the programming. And that's not me judging the people on either side. It's just me saying the bonus for them is that it causes confrontation. Don't allow that to happen. But John, you're right. A lot of people that don't watch the news are happier. Let's see. Oh, that's my ears bringing again. What? You're starting to focus on the close and local relationships. Yeah. Start focusing on relationships. Amen. You really have to keep your wits about you. Amen. Appreciate you tuning in, Misdemeanors. Love that name, by the way. Yeah. John knows what he's talking about. Appreciate John, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm just going to continue to live my best life until the world blows up. Words of Wisdom by Beth Ann Turkey Peterball. I appreciate that. I said the name earlier, and man, I hate even talking about it. Last Sunday, not yesterday, but the day before, just in an action that has never shown itself before, ever. Blue, the door opened, and Blue just bolted for it and ran and was gone. Gone. And we haven't seen her since. Gone. It's like, and haven't seen her since. And it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense from, I guess, the standpoint of we live right next to a forest, and on both sides of us, and there's animals and everything else, but it's like she's just gone. Yeah, I appreciate everyone's prayers, and it's tough to talk about. I mean, it's like because there's no resolution. Part of our family is gone, and that's tough. For those of you who haven't watched, our kitties are, we don't have any children living at home. Our kitties are kind of our family, and we love them. And Blue's no different. And she's just gone. And I don't know. Anyways, just want to let you know that. Sorry to bring you down. It's sad, man. But you know what? I will say this. As much as that hurts, and what's so frustrating about it is you just don't know what happened. Is she out there, or is she gone, or did someone get her or adopt her or whatever? It's just the not knowing. But I will say this. I'm glad the time that we had together, I'm thankful for. So I'll just remember the good times and hope that she returns and whatnot. But I get all sappy. Anyway, this week coming up on tomorrow night, Bart Sabrell is returning. We're going to be talking aliens and Planet X. So Bart, God bless him. His episode was on fire, the one about the moon landings, and there's no doubt in his mind that we did not land on the moon. There's a lot of people that think we did, a lot of people that think we didn't. But Bart is pretty adamant about his position. If you watch that video, you'll totally get it. And there's some really good points I think that Bart makes. But Bart also has a second book that's out now, and his books are really cool too, because in his books, especially if you get the ebook, there's links to videos and whatnot. So instead of him talking about it, you can just go and watch it. And they're all on his website, which is pretty fascinating stuff. So, but he's talking about the real nature of aliens. And I think most of you know where I stand on that. But the real nature of aliens. And then he's talking about Planet X. And it is interesting that while he refers to it in the form of a Planet X, You got him talking about Planet X. You've got Marshall Masters, who's been on talking about Planet X. You got Weston Warren talking about a dark star anomaly, not a planet, smaller, but still has impact. Is there something celestial out there that is going to impact us in the future? Interesting, fascinating. Friday, case reopened about calendars. And it sounds really simple, right? Calendars. But there is a lot about our history in calendars that just doesn't make any sense. And I think you should tune in. It's an older episode, of course, but there are some good points and some really cool things that make sense. Like why we used to have a 360-day year. This is written in history. Why do we have a 364, 365-day year? Why? Fascinating conversation. It's really a short episode, so tune in on Friday for that. I am going to be in Bristol, Virginia at the Hard Rock Casino on Thursday. Hope to see you there. Myself, Sean Clush, and Gray Galloway will be there. So come out. If you're in the area, come on out and see that. Branson Elvis Festival, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of May. If you're into that, great. If you want to come out and just hang out, it's part of, hey, that's the dude from the Ryan Files. Great. But it's going to be a wild time. And the production level every year, but this year, and so I'm excited about that. Just be amazing, folks. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a week, and it's going to be a couple more. Tonight on the agenda, I'm going to make vegetables, and then look at this. Just so you know, I got to color my hair. Got to get rid of all the gray. Let's see what everyone has to say here. Yeah, I appreciate all the thank you guys about blue, but you bought Bart's Planet X book. Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I'm not going to come back to Clearfield, PA this year. I will be in, I think, Clinton County. I'll be at the casino in Grantville, Pennsylvania, Carbon County, Troy. I'm not sure. There's a number of places I'll be at this year, but it's all kind of like more western Pennsylvania than central. But I will be this summer. And I'll also be in Wisconsin as well. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much, man. I really do. And thank you for coming out. Share it. Share this, man. It's a big deal. Growing that evergreen community, man. You know, we're not telling people what to believe here, but we are talking about things that you need to be aware of, so to speak. So, and that's about it, man. I will say that the one thing I guess I was going to say, about blue was, it reminds me of that song by Garth Brooks. I could have missed a pain, but I'd had to miss the dance. So that's kind of the sentiment behind it all. But anyways, I love you guys. Tune in tomorrow night, please. Bart Sabrell on the Ryan Files. You guys are awesome, man. Be amazing. Stay curious out there. I love you. See you next time on the Ryan Files. Thanks for tuning in to the weekly briefing here at the Ryan Files. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central for the Tuesday night episode of the Ryan Files. And don't forget to tune in Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for the Ryan Files After Dark. You folks are awesome. Be amazing. Stay curious. And I'll see you next week right here for the Ryan Files Weekly Briefing.
world changes, but the real story is happening behind the scenes.